In the final months of World War II, as Japan's empire collapsed and American troops closed in on the Philippines, something strange began happening in the mountains. Not retreat, not surrender. Digging. Putut. Vaults. Booby-trapped corridors sealed in concrete and death. They weren't preparing to fight back. They were preparing to hide something. Gold. Not just coins or bars, but unimaginable wealth looted from across Asia. Religious relics from Buddhist temples. Solid gold Buddhas. Chests of diamonds. Ming Dynasty statues. And metric tons of gold bricks confiscated from treasuries, banks, and royal vaults. It came from everywhere Japan had touched. China, Malaya, Singapore, Burma, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia. Gold stripped from nations and priests, emperors and peasants alike. Billions in wartime treasure. And they buried it. This is the story of Yamashita's gold. You're watching Don Gilded, where we chase the metal, not the hype. General Tomoyuki Yamashita had a reputation, the Tiger of Malaya. He had crushed British forces in Singapore, the so-called Gibraltar of the East, in just 7 days. But by 1944, the tide had turned. Japan was losing the Pacific, and the Philippines, strategically placed, rich with tunnels, caves, and colonial infrastructure, became something else entirely. A vault. But here's where it gets darker. According to multiple testimonies, the operation wasn't run by General Yamashita alone. It was part of a secret initiative authorized by the highest levels of imperial Japan called Golden Lily. Named after a poem written by Emperor Hirohito himself, Golden Lily was not a military division. It was a looting cartel. Headed by Prince Yasuhiko Asaka, Emperor Hirohito's own Uncle Golden, Lily operated across Southeast Asia during Japan's expansion. Its job was simple: extract every ounce of wealth from conquered territories, ship it to the Philippines for consolidation, and prepare it for post-war retrieval. And the stories are brutal. Entire trainloads of civilians were executed after unloading treasure. Slave laborers were forced to build underground vaults only to be sealed inside. Some were suffocated. Others drowned in artificial floods. Some vaults were booby-trapped with poison gas. Entire mountains became graves. It wasn't just gold they were burying. It was witnesses. The idea was this: if Japan lost, the treasure would remain hidden, ready to fund a return. Or something darker. According to some sources, over 175 secret sites were dug across Luzon, the largest island in the Philippines. The treasure was scattered, catalogued, and hidden in tunnels engineered with military precision. False floors, concrete seals, collapsing shafts, iron doors, and coded markings in kanji. Then radio silence. The war ended. Yamashita surrendered. And just 1 month later, he was put on trial by an American military tribunal. The charge: command responsibility for atrocities committed by his troops. But his trial moved fast. Too fast. Evidence was scarce. Testimonies were chaotic. Many historians now believe that Yamashita was executed not just for war crimes, but to seal his mouth. In 1946, he was hanged in a Manila prison. He never spoke publicly about the treasure, but the digging didn't stop. The first major clue came from a man named Rogelio Roxas, a Filipino locksmith turned amateur treasure hunter. In the late 1960s, Roxas claimed to have discovered one of the hidden vaults near Baguio. He said he and his team broke into a sealed tunnel where they found stacks of gold bars, each marked with Japanese characters, a golden Buddha statue over 3 feet tall, hollow inside, containing diamonds. Roxas secretly removed the Buddha and several bars, but before he could go public, his home was raided. He was arrested. His gold was taken. And according to Roxas, by order of Ferdinand Marcos, that's when the conspiracy blew wide open. Because Ferdinand Marcos, president of the Philippines from 1965 to 1986, had always been rumored to have secret offshore accounts, unexplained wealth, and a golden lifestyle far beyond his official. After his ouster in 1986, investigators uncovered Swiss bank accounts containing billions of dollars, a hoard of gold, jewelry, art, and items that matched descriptions from the Yamashita legend. Some even claim Marcos found multiple vaults using former Japanese soldiers and secret maps tattooed on their bodies or encoded in family scrolls. The claim? That Marcos made a private deal with U.S. intelligence, turning over part of the treasure in exchange for protection and silence. And here's where it gets even stranger. In 1998, after Roxas had died, his estate sued the Marcos family in a U.S. court. A Hawaii jury ruled in their favor. They awarded Roxas's estate $22 billion in damages based on the assumed value of what had been stolen from him. Not pesos, dollars, but by then the gold was long gone. Today, that ruling stands as one of the largest judgments ever made in a civil case involving a missing treasure. And still, no one can prove where the rest of it went. Is it still buried? Some say yes. Hunters, locals, even former soldiers have emerged with partial maps, vault sketches, and strange documents. Others believe the U.S. quietly exhumed large caches after the war. In one account, American agents allegedly located several sites and moved the gold to secure offshore facilities, then used it to fund anti-communist black ops across the world. A covert slush fund for decades of influence and control. That's why some call Yamashita's gold not just a treasure, but the beginning of a shadow economy. But here's the core truth. Too many people have found something. Rust-stained gold bars, empty concrete vaults, inscriptions matching old Japanese codes. No one can prove it all, but no one can disprove it either. Because the deeper you go, the more you realize this wasn't just wartime theft. It was strategy. It was legacy. And it may still be underground. So what do you believe? Was it all a legend? Or did a royal-backed looting machine really bury the foundation of post-war power in a jungle full of corpses and codes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because here at the Gilded, we don't chase fairy tales. We chase the gold.